Welcome everyone to Math Time. I'm Mr. Julius Sineta, or you can call me Boss G, and I will be your teacher for today's lesson. Good day, everyone. Our lesson for today is all about the slope of a line. So, a slope of a straight line determines how steep a straight line is. So, we will start our discussion by giving the definition of the slope. When we say slope, it is the tilt or inclination of a line, and it is denoted by m. Since we are dealing with linear equation in two variables, always remember that the graph of a linear equation in two variables is a straight line, and the slope of a straight line is defined as the ratio of the vertical rise of the line to its corresponding run. Slope is defined as the rise over run. When we say rise, it is the change in y, and run is the change in x. Now, if the slope is positive, the graph is rising from left to right. Now, if the slope is negative, the graph is rising from right to left. If the slope is 0, the graph of the linear equation is a horizontal line. And if the slope is undefined, then the graph of the linear equation is a vertical line. Say we have this graph. Okay, as you can see, the graph is rising from right to left. What do you think is the slope? Very good, it's negative. How about this one? Okay, observe that the graph is rising from left to right. Therefore, the slope here is positive. How about this graph? Now, take a look at this one. As you can see, the graph is a vertical line. Therefore, the slope here is undefined. How about this? The graph of the linear equation is a horizontal line. Therefore, the slope is very good, 0. Take a look at this graph. What do you observe on the graph? Very good. From the shape of the graph, we can see that the distance traveled increases as the number of hours increases. For situations like this, it is often helpful to calculate a rate of increase called as the rate of change. It is found by getting the slope of a line. In getting or finding the slope of a line, there are different formulas that we can use, but this depends upon what is the given. So there is a formula that you can use if a graph is given. So there is also a formula that we can use to find the slope if 2 points are given. Same as true, another formula that we can use if an equation was given. So let's start it with the graph. So if a graph is given, we can use the formula slope is equal to rise over run. So take a look at this graph. When we say rise, it is the change in y, while run is the change in x. Okay, let's try some examples. Okay, let's have number 1. Since the given is a graph, we will be using the formula slope is equal to rise over run. So to find for the rise or for the run, starting on one point, you will be counting the number of units going to the place which is across the second point. And remember, rise here can be positive and it can be negative of value. Now, when do we say that it is positive? So if you are counting going up, then the value of rise is positive. If you are counting going down, then the value of the rise is negative. While on the run, if you are counting going to the right, the value is positive, and if it is going to the left, the value is negative. Okay, so what is the rise on this given graph? So from this point, we're going to count to the place across the second point. So let us say this is the first point. We have here the second point. So from here, we count 1. So this is now the place across the second point. So our rise here is 1. Since we are moving down or going down, our rise here is negative 1 over run. So from here, we're going to count how many units going to the second point. So we have 1, 2, 3. Since we move to the right, then our run here is positive 3. Therefore, the slope is equal to negative 1/3. Okay, let's try one more. Say we have here the graph. We use the formula slope is equal to rise over run. So what is the value of rise? Let's denote this one as our point 1 and this one is point 2. So from here, we count how many units? 1, 2, 3. So since we are going down, our rise is negative 3 over run 1, 2. Going to the right, so it's positive and you have here positive 2. Therefore, the slope is equal to negative 3 over 2. Let's try one more. Say we have here, let's say this is our first point, this one is our second point. So slope is equal to rise over run. So we count now 1, 2, 3. Since we're going down, that is negative 3. So negative 3 over 1, 2. Since we're moving to the left, that is negative 2. Our slope now is equal to 3 over 2. Okay? So one more. We have here, what is the slope of the given graph? As you can see, it is a vertical line. Therefore, our slope here is undefined. So how come it is undefined? Now, what is our rise? Let's say we have here the point and the other point. So let's denote this one as 1.1 and here is 0.2. If we are going to count the rise, we have from 0.1 going to 0.2 is 1, 2, 3. Since we're going down, that is negative 3 over. So from here, are we going to move to the left or to the right? Since we are already on the point, then our rise is or our run is equal to 0. And any number divided by 0 is undefined. Therefore, our slope here is undefined. Okay? And lastly, we have this one. As you can see, the graph is a horizontal line. Let's say if we have here a point and another one here. Let's denote this one as point 1, here as point 2. So slope is equal to rise over run. So from point 1, we will be moving to the going up or going down until you reach the place across point number 2. Okay, so since we are already across point number 2, then we are not going up or we are not going down. Therefore, our rise here is equal to 0. Then, from here, to find the value of the run, we're going to count going to the second point. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you have here run as positive 4 since we are moving towards the right. 0 divided by 4, we now have the slope equal to 0. Always remember, if the graph is a horizontal line, the slope is equal to 0. Now, what if the given is 2 points? Okay, if the given is 2 points, we will use the formula slope is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1, wherein x sub 2 is not equal to x sub 1. Okay, so we have here examples. Given 2 points, let us find the slope. Okay, let's take example number 1. So given 2 points, we use the formula slope is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So let's denote that the first coordinates are x sub 1 and y sub 1. The second coordinates are x sub 2, y sub 2. Then substitute the values. Y sub 2 is equal to negative 2 minus y sub 1 is equal to negative 1 over x sub 2 is equal to 0 minus x sub 1 is equal to positive 2. Then we now have negative 2. So negative multiplied by negative 1 is positive 1 over 0 minus 2 is negative 2. So negative 2 plus 1 is equal to negative 1 over negative 2. The slope now is equal to positive 1/2. Okay, can you follow? Let's have the second example. So let's denote this one as x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. So using the formula, slope is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So let us substitute the values. Y sub 2 is equal to negative 2 minus y sub 1 is positive 4 over x sub 2 is negative 6 minus positive 3. So negative 2 minus 4 is negative 6 over negative 6 minus 3 is negative 9. So we now have 6 over 9. So let us reduce it to its lowest term. We now have the slope equal to 2/3. Okay, let's try the third example. Let's denote this one as x sub 1. This is y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. So the formula slope is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So let us Substitute the values. Y sub 2 is equal to 19 minus y sub 1 is equal to 7 over x sub 2 is 5 minus x sub 1 is equal to 3. So 19 minus 7 is equal to 12 over 5 minus 3 is equal to 2. Our slope now is equal to 12 divided by 2. That is equal to 6. What if the given is an equation? How are we going to find the slope? Remember last time, we had discussed that a linear equation in two variables can be written in different forms. So it can be written in slope-intercept form, it can be written in point-slope form, general form, or standard form. Now to find for the slope given the equation, what you need to do is to write first the equation on slope-intercept form. So when say slope-intercept form, it follows the form y is equal to mx plus b, wherein m there is the slope and b is the y-intercept. As you can see here, if the equation is already written in slope-intercept form, you can easily identify what is the slope. That's why, if the given is an equation, make sure that you're going to write the equation first as a slope-intercept form for easy identification of the slope. Okay, let's have here example number 1. So we have here the equation 6x plus 4y is equal to negative 8. So given the equation, to find for the slope, we need to transform first the equation into slope-intercept form, following the form y is equal to mx plus b. So our m here is the slope. Okay, so how are we going to do that? So we have 6x plus 4y is equal to negative 8. So you need to transpose 6x to the other side of the equation. So from positive 6x, it becomes negative 6x. So we now have 4y is equal to negative 6x minus 8. Okay, so to remove the numerical coefficient of y here, we need to divide both sides of the equation by the coefficient of y, which is 4. So cancel 4. Y here is equal to negative 6x over 4 minus 8 over 4. So y is equal to negative 6x over 4 is equal to negative 3x over 4 minus 8 over 4 is equal to 2. So we can write y is equal to negative 3/4 x minus 2. So from here, we can now identify what is the slope. So what is the slope of the equation 6x plus 4y equals negative 8? It's negative 3/4. Okay, let's try one more. So we have here negative 2x plus y minus 2 is equal to 0. So we need to transform this equation into slope-intercept form. Of course, following this form, y is equal to mx plus b. So we need to transpose negative 2x to the other side of the equation. From negative 2x, it becomes positive. Negative 2, transpose it to the other side of the equation. From negative 2, it becomes positive 2. So we now have y is equal to 2x plus 2. And from here, we can now identify what is the slope. So the slope now is equal to positive 2. Let's try one more. So we have here 5x minus y is equal to positive 7. Okay, so let us write this one or transform it into slope-intercept form following the form y is equal to mx plus b. So we transpose 5x to the other side of the equation. From positive 5x, it becomes negative 5x. So we now have negative y is equal to negative 5x plus 7. So y here is negative, but on the formula it says y should be positive. How are we going to remove the negative here? So we're going to divide both sides of the equation by negative 1. So negative 1. Cancel negative and negative 1. Y is equal to negative 5x over negative 1 plus 7 over negative 1. So y is equal to negative 5x over negative 1 is equal to positive 5x. 7 over negative 1 is negative 7. So plus negative 7. So positive multiplied by negative is equal to negative. Therefore, y now here is equal to 5x minus 7. So from here, we can now identify what is the slope of the given equation. So our slope now here is equal to positive 5.
Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something from me today. Have fun learning. Goodbye. See you on the next video.